All right. Welcome back, man. Got Warriors game today. I'm so fired up for that. Thunder and Warriors. Who would have thought that we'd be fired up for a Warriors-Thunder game the last week of the regular season? But Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Josh Giddey, Lou Dort. It's a big game for them as we look at the updated standings in the NBA. Howard Beck will join us in about 13 minutes. We'll get to Joe Marin in a second. The Pelicans, Thunder, excuse me. I always get them mixed up with the Pelicans. But OKC, right now they're holding on to that 10th and final play-in spot. They're full game up on the Dallas Mavericks. They lose, they'll be tied with the Mavericks in the loss column with 42 losses. However, the Mavericks are taking, they've been struggling. I think they have the day off, actually. Mavericks have, they're off.
Did you see the latest Shams article, too, regarding the Mavericks? That they may shut down Luka and Kyrie the rest of the season. They're contemplating it right now.
Damn.
And Kyrie's going to probably walk?
Yeah, Kyrie's gone.
I mean, you traded all that for that.
Kyrie's gone.
Odd.
Kyrie's out of there.
Okay, before we move on to the Warriors, who would want Kyrie? Like, honestly.
I only see one team.
He's an excellent player, but it just comes with so much baggage.
I see one team. The Miami Heat.
Why them?
I think Pat Riley thinks that he's a great player, probably could fix him. Maybe.
Okay.
And maybe in 1 or 2 year deal. They've been rolling out Kyle Lowry.
Oh, no.
Kyle Lowry is cooked.
Cooked? Well done.
He's done.
He is one of the most hated Miami Heat players of all time.
Yeah, I don't know where Kyrie goes, to be honest with you. I don't see anybody in the West. Like, does Memphis need him? No. Does Denver want him? Probably not. Phoenix? Kevin Durant can't want him in Phoenix. Katie? There's no chance Kevin Durant.
I hadn't even contemplated Phoenix.
Come on.
I mean, once you get away from each other, you can't go back, right?
No, Kevin Durant, he ruined his Brooklyn tenure.
But if I told you Kevin Durant did not finish in Phoenix, you would not be surprised.
Yeah.
Kevin's going one other place.
Where's that?
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, there's no way.
You don't think he's gonna finish in Phoenix?
There's just no chance.
No. All right. Dallas Mavericks are out of the play. Wow. I owe Dibs a box of diapers. They're not going to finish in the top 6. Go figure. Warriors 41-38, tied in the loss column with the Clippers, Lakers, and Pelicans. They need to win this game tonight. Lakers and Clippers play tomorrow night. I know the Lakers play tonight against Utah, but tomorrow night is a big game for the Golden State Warriors where they can sit back and watch where the Lakers and Clippers, one of them's got to lose. It could happen in regulation, could happen in overtime, double overtime, but somebody's going to lose. And that person or that team who loses will have 39 losses on the season, which will put the Warriors game one up on them, hopefully, if they don't lose tonight. They got to win tonight. They got to beat the Oklahoma City Thunder. All right.
Yeah, it's a must-win.
It's a must-win tonight.
I don't want to hear this. Oh, it's not a no. It's a must-win.
It's a must-win.
Yeah.
Splash Brothers have to be better.
Yes.
Kamika's got to get more time. Draymond's got to be better with taking care of the basketball. DiVincenzo's got to hit a couple threes in this game.
They can't fall behind.
No, you cannot.
Please don't fall behind.
Yeah, build some winning habits. Say really, outside of the first quarter and a half against Denver, they played one good quarter against San Antonio.
If that.
They played one good half against the Pelicans. They're not putting the full 48 together. Did I see a full 48 for once?
When was the last full 48 game?
Memphis Christmas Day.
Yeah. Wow. 4 months ago.
That was a long time ago. Let's go to Joe Marin. Joe, what's happening?
Joe.
You're on the roast.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for taking the call. I wanted to talk about Wiggins and how I feel like we dropped the ball a little bit here tried to say, hey, if he was in New York, we'd be poking and prodding. We'd be trying to figure out what's going on. We wouldn't give him this leeway. But yet, everything I heard back here in the Bay was about, hey, we deserve the right to know. We need to know what's going on. And I feel like the Warriors gave us that. They said Wiggins is out. He could be out for the whole season, and he's dealing with a personal matter.
Right.
And we couldn't help but poke and prod at it.
No, Joe, are you surprised at that as a society? Because I know on this show, I'm going to speak for this show, Joe, we didn't poke and prod. We just say we hope he's well, and if he comes back, he comes back. But we talked about the basketball sense. That's appropriate, right? We can talk about the basketball player and what he does on the floor. You can't touch the personal stuff, but you can talk about the basketball player and what he brings to the court, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, we miss Wiggins on the floor.
Exactly.
Can't
There
wait
you
to
go.
have him back.
Mm-hmm.
We hope he's 100% when he comes back. But until he is 100% in his mind, nothing else matters because that
Exactly.
mental is what it's all about.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I would also add to that the organization as a whole conducted themselves with not just professionalism, but sensitive touch. And it's a very difficult situation that they were all in. And I think, again, just for what we perceive that they put out there, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I thought they handled it brilliantly.
Yeah.
I mean, think of all of, like, the era that we're in, everything gets out to someone, somewhere.
Draymond Green situation. I bet you the Warriors probably feel like, as an organization, we probably could have handled that situation better.
Right?
They learned, and the situation with Andrew Wiggins, nobody knew anything.
Yeah.
They just said, hey, when he comes back, we've been in touch. We're going to give him his space. Now, we were about to get to this in the 7 o'clock, right when the clock flipped to 7 o'clock. Shams Charania, The Athletic. Go to State Warriors. Go to State's Andrew Wiggins plays with 10 Warriors Thunder on Tuesday. The reason for Wiggins' leave of absence since mid-February is that his father, Mitchell Wiggins, has been dealing with a serious medical situation, sources close to the situation say. Warriors have given Wiggins complete space and freedom to deal with this family matter. Now, to me, and you asked me whether or not if it's Shams or a local beat writer, to me, that was off limits. That was off limits from a reporter to say, hey, he's been out due to his father being sick. Now, what if Wiggins didn't want that out there?
The Shams part.
The Shams part. Shams Charania tweeted this.
Okay.
The reason for Wiggins, his leave of absence since mid-February, is that his father, Mitchell Wiggins, has been dealing with a serious medical situation. So now you put his business out there.
So
For me personally,
Yeah.
I would have rather heard it from the Warriors or Andrew Wiggins.
or not at all.
Or not at all.
Okay.
I don't know what's fair or what's not fair.
That's why I was asking you.
But to me, as a journalist, as a former journalist,
Yes.
I used to write, I personally would have just kept that out. Hey, he plays in the Warriors Thunder game. He's been out since mid-February dealing with the personal issue, sources say.
Is it wrong for me, again, not with a journalist background, is it wrong for me to interpret it, whether this is real or not, that he got some sort of green light from either Andrew, the Warriors?
Source, agent, I don't know.
Is that wrong to assume? Because I think that there's that.
Maybe there was a green light.
There's that
Maybe there was a
assumption.
green light. Maybe there was. I just personally, I wouldn't have tweeted about that because now, whether you like it or not, there's going to be people who empathize with Andrew Wiggins in this situation. And then there's going to be other people that say, we missed 22 games. You know, we missed 2 weeks of work and then we go back. That's what other people are going to say. I'm not saying that. But other people are going to look at that and say, wow, you missed a lot of time. It's his father. I would say with that news, hey, take more time off.
Yeah, family
first. Family first.
Work. Yeah.
But as a journalist, I don't think I would have put that out there. That's just me.
Interesting.
I don't know. Maybe we asked Howard Beck that. I don't know.
No, it's interesting. I find the way that this was covered to be fascinating because I'm not inside that world, and I think that it's filled with landmines, and I don't think that we appreciate. Okay, so like here's the question. So like B, everyone's screaming and yelling for privacy, which we all agree with. I feel like the majority of people agree with it, right? Like we all can relate to something in our lives that we don't want our coworkers to know about, or we don't want the greater, group of people that we know to know about stuff.
Right.
But where's that line?
Yeah.
Once you open Pandora's box on that, where does the line go? Like in terms of like, does it matter about who is affected, the severity? What if it's a crime? Are you allowed privacy on that end? Like, where do we draw the lines? I guess is where I'm coming up with. And I feel like as a society, we move the bar based on what the topic is, or our particular outrage, or who the individual is.
We wanted to guess left and right about his privacy, Andrew Wiggins, and people were reckless in their assumptions about what was going on in his private world. Oh, it's private. Don't speak about it. But I remember when he said, I didn't want to take the vaccine shot. And buddy, there's a lot of people out there
Losing their minds.
Yeah.
Well, think of what we did to
So
Aaron
we pick and
Rodgers.
choose. We pick and choose when we get into people's personal life. But I'll move on.
No, but that's the part that I know that others don't. That's the part I find fascinating is how this is kind of broken down amongst the journalism, the fans, how we're perceiving it as an audience. There's just a lot of layers to this.
Let's go to Frank and Chico. Frank, what's happening? You're on the roast.
Hey, guys. First off, I just wanted to tell you guys I love you guys. I don't always agree with you guys. It's been a long season, but you guys are great at what you do.
Thank you.
Great at what
Appreciate
you do.
that.
I watch every morning.
Thank you.
So, okay, look. I know everybody's been saying, hey, well, we've been 500 with Wiggs, and we've been 500 with different guys, but it's a personnel thing. I think Kerr can't wait. Look, just hear me out. You got Kuminga. You got Wiggs. You got GP. You got DiVincenzo. Just like last year, we're hoping and praying Loon stays healthy. But this is the four guys I named play bigger than they are. We are going to be able to play at a pace that the Kings, they're a good team. We're different than them. And this team is ready. They got 3-4 games, however many days before the playoffs start. This is an athletic team. The guys that I just mentioned now playing together are going to help with points in the paint.
Agreed.
They're going to help with the pace, rebounding, movement, player movement, ball movement, and now you're athletic again. Yep. We got this. This is the defending champion.
I like that.
4 times you got to do that.
So that energy.
And we have Steph Curry.
Hey, Frank, call back. He's fired up.
I'm with him.
He's fired up the last 3 games. We're athletic again. You got points in the paint locked up. Rebounding. Wiggs is back. When that news broke yesterday, Shasky, I basically broke down knowing that, watching that Denver game, all I kept saying in my head was Andrew Wiggins connects so much on this basketball team. They need Wiggs. Like, it was hard to see them beating the Sacramento Kings without Andrew Wiggins.
Oh, no doubt. I hear you.
And now I'm thinking, boy, if Wiggins can ramp up and get back, and he gets right, like D Ford said, all of a sudden we're talking about playing deep into May, maybe June.
And if you look quietly, God, I don't even want to say this out loud because I feel like I'm jinxing it. They're really healthy. Right? And that's kind of what we want. Now, they're not playing their best ball, but they're healthy. And what do you always want at the beginning of the year? To try to be as healthy as possible. Now, I'm sure there's a bunch of, like, Draymond's got the hand, the wrist thing that's going on.
He's going to play.
No, I agree. But I'm just saying, like, for the most part, GP2's back. He's healthy.
Curry's
Kuminga
healthy.
looks like he's still in his prime. Dante DiVincenzo, although
healthy.
I think very healthy.
No back-to-backs in the playoffs.
Looks healthy. Clay looks healthy. Steph.
Think about this. You get that top 6 seed. You get basically 6 days off.
Am I jinxing it? God, I shouldn't even have said it.
6 days off. Don't worry about it.
I know. I always worry about putting that jinx on it.
6 days off, right? If you get to 6 seed.
Yes.
And then when you play the first round, you're not playing back-to-backs your whole the entire playoffs. But in the first round, you may get that first game on a Saturday, and the NBA may stagger that game until Tuesday, game 2. And then all of a sudden, you got 2 days off.
Yes.
Or you got 3 days off. And if it's Sacramento, maybe you take your ass back to the Bay Area practice and then drive back up. I don't know. Do you stay in Sac?
Take the caddy with Goo?
Take the caddy. I don't know if you want to take the caddy with Goo.
Will we be able to get, from this station, get credentials to go up to Golden One? Are you guys going to be, like, doing your pre and post?
If it's Sacramento.
Yeah.
I believe we'll be in the studio in San Francisco.
You're not going to be up there. Okay.
Not going to be up there. But, if we did go up there,
I might have to Airbnb it.
Does anyone really have a choice?
You get a credential. A lot of people are going to be fighting credentials, but I'm sure you could. JD's getting one for sure. Guru will get one. Social media crew will get one.
Bonte did have a point.
This is why you guys need to go to games during the regular season and still show up to the playoffs.
You know what? I'll just buy my own ticket then.
Hey, look at me.
I'll just buy my own ticket.
You roll it like that anyway.
Yeah, I know.
Just buy your own ticket.
Yeah.
Restoration Hardware, 2 houses, golf course, the tournament. I just buy my own ticket. See how quickly it happens, Spinoni?
Oh, my God.
Start feeling guilty. Start feeling guilty by getting career. Oh, I'll just go buy my own ticket.
Jeez.
I'll just go drop the $1,000.
Well, I didn't know you were going to shame me.
I'm not shaming you. I'm just saying it's funny how you media members show up for the playoffs looking for a credential.
Big homie's going to be fine, bro.
Well, we're out there, JD and Whitley and Alex. They're out there on a cold Tuesday night in December covering the Hornets and Warriors. Covering the Orlando Magic.
They're in a building. It's not that cold.
Oh, it gets cold at Chase. It's been cold outside.
From the maker of No LeBron, No Bonte.
Well, that was the Saturday night game where I had family time and, no LeBron James. I was on the Bay Bridge going to the game. Treasure Island was coming up. Got off at Treasure Island, came right back around. Nope, not going to see that Lakers team.
I don't blame you on that.
Yeah, that's one time.
Well, and also, like, I'm going to be full disclosure here. We wake up really early. So, it's a late night.
It is a late
That's why
night.
you're the king and I'm not. I'm the squire.
I'm not the king.
Not only can you work late
real
into the
king
night, you can also wake up super early and come in.
Monte, I'm
Yeah,
here to tell you.
exactly.
Tim Morant was partying in Salt Lake City.
Exactly.
Hey, let me tell you something.
This is what separates the kings from the squires.
Let me tell you something. The real king is Dave Fleming. That's the real king. I'm just a wannabe.
I would consider him just so high. He's more like a Greek god.
Yeah. That's possible.
He's Zeus.
By the way, download the Odyssey app, 95.7 The Game, thousands of other stations, and millions of podcasts completely free on the Odyssey app. Sports talk, music, news, and podcasts, all available, again, completely free. You can catch every single Warriors game live on the app, along with all the music and news the Bay Area needs. You got the Warriors and the Thunder tonight at Chase Center, 7 p.m. tip. And let's talk about the last week of the regular season in the NBA. A lot of stuff happening here. Let's go to Howard Beck, longtime national NBA reporter and writer, has been covering the league for over 25 years, former Lakers, Knicks beat writer before doing a national beat. Howard, welcome back to the show. Good to have you on. I guess we got to start with the Wiggins stuff. Andrew Wiggins apparently is going to come back for the Golden State Warriors after missing 22 games. Not going to play tonight against OKC, a huge game for both the Warriors and Oklahoma City. And, of course, Friday night against Sacramento and Sunday against Portland. So we'll see where he's at. What did you make of the news yesterday at around 9:45 in the morning, West Coast time, that Wiggins was going to help or going to be back with the Golden State Warriors?
I mean, obviously great news for them. And, hopefully things are okay for Andrew Wiggins and his family. Once you push aside all of the very important personal stuff, then it comes back to the basketball. So it's what kind of shape is he in? How long is it going to take for him to get back up to speed? But, as a basketball matter, I've been saying this for weeks, and ever since they, brought back Gary Payton II and, obviously even with the uncertainty of Wiggins, if they've got Wiggins healthy and playing at close to peak level, if they've got Payton healthy and at close to peak level, you now have a functioning rotation that can go 8 deep and not having to rely too much on some of the wild cards that they've had to experiment with over the course of the season. You now have pretty close to the core group that won a championship last June. And if you're looking for reasons for optimism, then suddenly you have the outline of a team that has some great potential and where you can take this regular season that has been so bizarre and so all over the map and not throw it out. Like, it all matters and it all indicates something about them. But just as when I look at the Lakers, I'm not evaluating the Lakers based on their complete season record because they're a different team now since the trade deadline, substantially different in their case. In the Warriors' case, the mere ability to plug back in, Andrew Wiggins and Gary Payton and have the kind of defense and versatility options in that rotation available to you. And at a time when we know that the Warriors know how to kind of lock in, I'd like it's reason for optimism. And again, some things you got to see first. What's Wiggins look like? What kind of shape is he in? How long is it going to take to get kind of back in rhythm with guys? But obviously a great sign for them as they head down the stretch here.
Who do you think benefits the most from his return on the court?
Man, it's hard to say. I mean, I'm tempted to say, I'm tempted to say all, like Curry, Clay, Poole, all in one sentence. Like having Wiggins out there to deal with some of the bigger perimeter threats means less pressure on everybody who has to take on those responsibilities at times. So there's that. I don't know that it's any one person. I just think that this team is not whole without. I mean, listen. Last June we were talking about Steph is absolutely the Finals MVP, but man, did Wiggins really play a huge role in this title run and in this series. And he was, in some ways the second most important player at that time. That's a stretch in some ways because granted, Draymond was up and down then, but Draymond is always so critical on the defensive side. I just think that they're not complete without Wiggins, and he's also obviously another scoring outlet as well. But I think about his defensive importance more than anything.
It's kind of the same answer I had. Howard Beck, longtime national NBA reporter, writer, of course. He connects the entire team. Perimeter defense, rebounding, going into paint, isolation. I think the whole team benefits from having Andrew Wiggins and, of course, another body for Steve Kerr to play out there. So moving on from Andrew Wiggins and moving on from the Warriors, of course, a big game tonight against OKC. The Lakers, they're the team that I'm watching here that can surge all the way to the 5 spot. And I'm going to make my board up here. My technical producer, Joe Spinotti, happy here. Are the Lakers a legit threat to come out the Western Conference?
They are. They really are. I was going to say, I know that sounds ludicrous, but I mean, folks, nothing should sound ludicrous right now. Like, if you're predicting a championship by the Dallas Mavericks, okay, now you're in ludicrous territory. But there are like 7 or 8 teams in the West that can make a case, which is weird to say, but it's absolutely true this season. There's just no one has an impenetrable case. Everybody's got some serious deficiencies, and it leaves it wide open. And again, when you're talking about the Warriors and Lakers, who right now are separated by a half game in the standings, in any other normal NBA season, and this is my 26th covering the league, I would never have said to anybody on April 4th that a 6th or 7th seed had a chance to go all the way. Even though, yes, of course, there have been a couple of those stories in NBA history, right? An 8th-seeded Knicks team that makes it during a lockout year, they make it to the finals. A 6th-seeded Rockets team that wins the championship in the mid-'90s. But those are massive outliers. And normally by this time of year, you have pretty good clarity about who the real contenders are in each conference. And it does not involve teams that are 6th or 7th. It just doesn't. And the NBA is more predictable than most sports in that regard. The standings are very indicative of who actually has a shot. It's just different now. There's not anybody at the top that you can absolutely place your faith in. And in the Warriors and Lakers, you've got one team that's a defending champion and that's getting whole at the right time, and still, has its most important players playing at a very high level, and a Lakers team that, finally got healthy and reformatted their rotation around their 2 stars. So, yes, they both have a chance to make it. The Lakers absolutely have a chance to make it because LeBron and Anthony Davis. How many 1-2 punches in the Western Conference would you put above them?
Not many. Maybe KD and Booker. Maybe.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
It's not Jokic and whoever. It's not Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr., though they're great. It's not Fox and Sabonis, though they've been fantastic. And it can't be Kawhi and Paul George if Paul George isn't even playing right now. Steph and who? I mean, like a bunch of good players, but like LeBron and Anthony Davis, and especially the way Anthony Davis has been playing the last few weeks. And they now have a functioning supporting cast. So, again, I know it sounds ludicrous, but people cannot look at the standings or the Lakers' record and judge them based on the whole season. They're a different team now, a substantially different team now than they were 6 weeks ago.
Howard, if you're looking at this from the league's perspective, as someone who covers this, what's the most appealing matchup for the Warriors from a league perspective to either elevate another franchise or drive ratings or really raise up the excitement level? What would that matchup be in the first round?
Wow, that's interesting. It's funny because, look, I'm a Northern California native, I think, as you guys know. Right. So the idea of Warriors-Kings.
Oakland's own Howard Beck. That's right. Oakland's own, baby. Rep that. Rep the town, Howard.
So I like the idea. Plus, I covered all those Lakers-Kings series back in the early 2000s when I was covering the Lakers. And so I know what those Sacramento fans can bring when their team is good. Warriors Kings has never really been a rivalry because they've never really been good at the same time. I mean, there's a regional rivalry, but it's like this would raise it to a whole new level. So my personal regional bias aside, obviously Warriors Suns. If you're asking what would the this is always such a silly argument. What would the league want to see? The league is not actually orchestrating these things.
No. They're also not mad if they get certain matchups.
No, like the ratings are the ratings. Yes. Whatever happens. But does Durant versus the Warriors hold a lot of sex appeal?
Hell yeah.
So I'd be a little tossed up between those two. I think I still lean Warriors Kings overall. I think my regional biases trump everything else. But Durant versus the Warriors in the first round, no less.
Wow.
Two teams that both could make an argument for being conference finalists, but maybe they have to, one has to eliminate the other in the first round. It would almost be a shame to have it happen that soon. But yeah, I don't think we can go wrong here, guys. I think whatever the Warriors are doing in the first round is going to be pretty fun.
Denver, before we get you out of here, we just saw the Denver Nuggets on Sunday without Nikola Jokic. Thought they looked more athletic without Jokic. I'm not saying they're a better team. We all know they're not. But do you get the sense that teams fear the Denver Nuggets? Like, for example, if the Lakers drop down to 8, I don't think they'd fear the Nuggets. I'm not sure the Clippers would fear the Nuggets, even though I don't think that they could beat the Nuggets in a 7-game series. What's the sentiment across the nation about the Denver Nuggets and whether or not people think that they're a legit title contender, that they can represent the Western Conference in the finals?
I'll answer it this way. Over the last few weeks when I've been bumping into people around the league, coaches, GMs, whoever, and I say, who's coming out of the West? Open-ended question. I'm not asking about any given team. I'm not asking for, rating anybody in particular. I'm just saying, so who's coming out of the West? Usually they'll name a team or two that are possible, and none of them ever name the Nuggets. People don't believe in them. And if the Nuggets, want to, take that kind of sentiment and slap it on bulletin boards and everything, like they can. I think they know it. It's kind of like what Mike Brown, the Kings coach, was saying to my buddies Mark Stein and Chris Haynes on their podcast last week too. Like they're fully aware that people aren't really respecting the Kings in that regard too. And all I would say is like this is one of those years, right, where no one really fears the three teams at the top of the West because the Kings just got here after 1,000 years in the desert, and the Grizzlies are still really young and are missing some key pieces and have had a really bumpy season on and off the court. And the Nuggets haven't shown anything in the postseason and don't have the level of defense that's usually required and don't really have a true second star next to Jokic. So it's not an insult at any of these teams. It's just the reality of where their obvious deficiencies are. And, generally speaking, star power wins in this league, and the Suns have it, and the Warriors have it, and the Lakers have it, and the Clippers, when they're whole, have it, and they all have it in a greater degree than those three teams at the top. And if you want to ask the reverse of the question you were asking, I think everybody at the top, they don't want to see the Warriors in the first round. They don't want to see the Lakers in the first round, but they don't want to see the Clippers either. Like those are like the scariest teams in theory are actually the bottom of the bracket.
Yeah. That's a good point. 20 seconds or less, or 24-second shot clock here, Howard Beck, for you. 24-second shot clock. MVP and why?
Not doing it, guys. I got an actual ballot that I have to turn in next Monday, and I've been all over the map with this. I will spin myself in circles for the next 6 days or so.
It's fair. That's fair.
Anybody wants to lobby, make their arguments, I'm on Twitter at Howard Beck. Go ahead, hit me whatever you want. I do not know where I'm going to come down when it comes time to file that ballot.
That's fair. You got a week to do it. We'll be looking at the ballots, of course. Howard Beck, you're always kind to us. Thanks for the time, man. Last week of the regular season, it is going to be juicy, and the playoffs are just around the corner. Howard, we'll do it again soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, fellas.
Thanks,
Anytime, Howard Beck, here on the Morning Roast on 95.7 The Game. Couple takeaways. One,